Friends, we know that the life story of the Duggar family girls is almost always the same. Marriage at a very young age, and then starting a family. But one girl stepped outside that familiar pattern and surprised everyone over the years. Yes, I'm talking about everyone's favorite, Jana Duggar. Well, have you ever wondered why it took so long for Jana to start her own family? While her younger sisters were becoming mothers one after another, why did Jana choose to stay single for so long? Today, I'm going to talk about Jana's patience and some dramatic turns in her life that made her completely different from the rest of her sisters. Was Jana's journey really her own choice, or was there family pressure behind it? In today's video, I'll share some inside stories that will make you see Jana in a completely new way. So watch until the very end, because you'll be shocked to hear the secret information behind Jana's marriage. Come on, friends, let's discover this unique story of Jana's life together today. Former 19 kids and counting star Jana Duggar forged a unique path, separate from her famous family, before marrying Stephen Wiseman and welcoming their son, Archie. Jana Duggar admitted that when she was single, watching her younger siblings get married and start families was sometimes disappointing. But even then, she never lost faith in herself, or in what she was capable of on her own. And now, the former 19 kids and counting star, who broke Duggar family tradition by moving into her own home before getting married, seems to have everything she once hoped for. The 36-year-old star welcomed her first child, son Archie Gerald Wiseman, with her husband Stephen Wiseman in late December, just months after the couple celebrated their first wedding anniversary. We took some time to settle into our new routine before sharing this sweet news, Jana and Stephen wrote in their January 23 Instagram post. Our hearts have completely changed. We are enjoying these early days filled with love, wonder, and endless gratitude. Her sisters Jill Dillard and Ginger Vuolo were also among the happy commenters, and many fans said they were glad Jana finally got everything she wanted. But while Jana, who is the second child of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, along with her twin brother John David Duggar, took longer to marry than some of her sisters, she also became one of the first Duggar daughters to truly live independently before marriage. Jill, Ginger, Jessa Seawald, and Joy Hannah Forsyth, who together have 15 children, all lived on the Duggar family property in Arkansas until they got engaged to their husbands. But Jana's story was different. Although she and Stephen later moved to Nebraska, Jana revealed in a July 15, 2024 video that she had moved into a little house near her parents' home a few years earlier. And she decorated it exactly the way she wanted. She even shared that she got the house for a really good price at a local auction. After spending a few years away from Instagram and YouTube, Jana returned to social media that summer. Her videos showed her spending lots of time with her younger sisters, Johanna, Jennifer, Jordan Grace, and Josie, along with her brothers Jason, James, and Jackson. While living in Arkansas, Jana loved hosting movie nights. She even showed off a giant projector screen and soundbar in her living room on YouTube. And there was always a bowl full of candy nearby. Inside her cozy little space, Jana also created a music corner, complete with a full-size keyboard and her violin hanging on the wall. She even took the initiative to install an above-ground swimming pool on the family property, with a locked gate for safety around small children. In one video, Jana explained that she wanted Create a place where young and old can come together and have fun in the summer. In fact, Jana spent much of her time renovating homes and working on projects. She wasn't only fixing up her own house, which had once been an open office space used by city officials, but she was also helping improve the family farm. Jana lived with her parents during the height of the pandemic, and although she admitted feeling some pressure to get married at times, she said she wasn't overly worried about it. "Yes, I want to get married. I think that day will come, but I'm trying to stay busy with whatever comes my way and make the most of these single years," she told Us Weekly in 2020. And then, when that time comes, the next chapter of life will begin. Jana also said, "If I sit there and think, oh, I'm not married, and just worry about it, it only makes things worse. I think the best thing to do is keep myself busy." Her mother Michelle even praised Jana's hard-working spirit, saying, "Half of the work here wouldn't get done without her." For example, in July 2024, Jana revealed how she and her brothers transformed the Duggar playroom into a giant slide-filled hangout area for kids of all ages. And while Jana admitted she would miss the peaceful farm life in Arkansas, there was still plenty to keep her busy after moving to Nebraska. In a November 2024 video, she emotionally said, "The orchards, the vegetable gardens, the sunrises over the animals, what peace there is here." Still, Jana and Stephen quickly started working on another home project together. The couple bought an older house in Nebraska, renovated it, and turned it into their new home. And honestly, after growing up in such a massive family, you really can't blame Jana for wanting a place of her own. Now, before we continue with Jana's story, let's take a closer look at the ever-growing Duggar family itself. Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar became parents to 19 children, and grandparents to more than 36 grandchildren. Their journey started as high school sweethearts. Michelle once shared that she became a Christian at age 15. Not long after that, Jim Bob knocked on her family's door while doing church outreach work for his Baptist church. A friend later told him that Michelle was a girl from school who had recently gotten saved and was a cheerleader. Eventually, Michelle was invited to their church's Sunday school. Jim Bob later said he prayed that they would become spiritual leaders for each other. But interestingly, Michelle barely remembered their first meeting. A year later, she applied for a job at the frozen yogurt shop owned by Jim Bob's parents. In a letter posted on the family blog in 2017, Michelle remembered the moment clearly. "You walked up to the counter where I was standing by the register and introduced yourself. You were shy, but very sweet." She said she barely remembered the conversation itself, except for one important thing. Jim Bob finally got the courage to ask her to attend the junior-senior banquet with him. They later spent hours talking about the Bible at his parents' home, and Michelle said that was when their hearts truly connected. The couple graduated high school in May 1984 and married just 2 months later, in July. Michelle was only 17 years old, while Jim Bob was 19. More than 40 years later, they are still together. Jim Bob later became a state legislator in Arkansas, serving from 1999 to 2002. He also ran unsuccessfully for the U.S. Senate and for the Arkansas State Senate. Both Jim Bob and Michelle became licensed realtors and were heavily involved in conservative causes. That public lifestyle helped make 19 Kids and Counting incredibly popular, while also attracting major criticism over the years. By October 2024, the couple had 33 grandchildren, with 3 more on the way. Now let's talk about Josh Duggar. Josh, the oldest Duggar child, was born on March 3, 1988. He also became involved in conservative activism and worked with the Family Research Council. But in 2015, everything changed. Old police reports were released, revealing accusations that Josh had sexually assaulted several girls when he was younger, including his own sisters, Jessa and Jill Duggar. In an interview with Fox News that same year, Jessa defended her brother and claimed many public descriptions of him were exaggerated. Josh's wife, Jana Duggar, whom he married on September 26, 2008, continued standing by him even after he admitted to infidelity. When Josh entered a treatment center in 2016, his parents described it as an important first step toward recovery. Josh and Hannah eventually became parents to 7 children. But then, in April 2021, Josh was federally charged with receiving and possessing child sexual abuse material. He pleaded not guilty. In 2022, Josh was convicted and sentenced to more than 12 years in prison. Now moving back to Jana and her twin brother, John David Duggar. After Josh was born, Michelle became pregnant again, but sadly suffered a miscarriage. While grieving and praying for guidance, Michelle and Jim Bob later discovered they were expecting twins. John David Duggar and Jana Duggar were born on January 12, 1990. John David later married Abby Grace Burnett after a whirlwind romance. The couple tied the knot on November 3, 2018. Their daughter Grace Annette Duggar was born on January 7, 2020, followed by their son Charlie in September 2022. Then, in February 2026, Abby and John David welcomed their 3rd child, a baby girl. On their 30th birthday in 2020, Jana wrote an emotional message to her twin brother. She joked about people always asking if they shared a twin connection. But after the birth of his daughter Gracie, Jana admitted she finally understood that special bond. She also praised John David and Abby as amazing parents. And then, finally, Jana's own love story began. After watching 11 of her siblings get married before her, Jana eventually fell in love with Stephen Wiseman. Stephen's sister, Hannah Wiseman, is already married to Jana's brother Jeremiah Duggar. Although Jana admitted feeling disappointed at times, she believed everything happened according to God's plan. I didn't always understand the bigger picture, but I know God knows what's best for all of us, Jana said before her August 15, 2024 wedding. That's why I'm getting married later. Every story is written differently. If we were all exactly the same, life would be boring. Then, on December 30, 2025, Jana and Stephen welcomed their first child, Archie Gerald Wiseman. And just like that, Jana Duggar's unique journey entered an entirely new chapter.